'em up, lay it down just like Matt Amari. Wrestling RHAPUp's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock, cause I'm driving the Ferraris. And we coming every week and it's feeling like a party. Moolah Ric Flair, showing out like Bianca Belair, Best podcast, fluctuate in the air, From the rings and we win it, don't care, No cap. Throw 'em up, lay it down just like Matt Amari. Wrestling RHAPUp's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock, cause I'm driving the Ferraris. And we coming every week and it's feeling like a party.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Wrestling RHAPUp podcast. I'm your host, Mari Forth, and with me, as always, my tag team partner, the Rambling Rabbit to my Abby the Witch, Mr. Matt Scott. Matt, how are you doing today?
Wow, Mari, I'm great. Happy to be here. It's getting very witchy on the Wrestling RHAPUp, and let's hope that the spirits of Bray Wyatt and the Funhouse and the creepers and all that, the fireflies, leave us alone. Definitely make sure the lantern flies leave you alone, by the way, because those things are an invasive species. You have to watch out. Mari, how's it going?
Look into that. It's going good. Yeah, it's going good. It's been a week. Like, we have rain barreling down on us right now. So if there are any technical difficulties due to inclement weather, apologies in advance. But so far, so good. You know, it's feeling like one of those days after I'm about to talk wrestling, I'm going to just get very lazy and just go back to bed style days.
No, same. No, same. Yeah. You know what? The wrestling, the wrestling has been sort of sleepy in the last week. Not to bury the wrestling. This is going to be an amazing episode of the Wrestling RHAPUp. Don't get me wrong. But the wrestling has been a little bit more low-key. And actually, we did see some weather incidents, hurricanes, and affecting travel plans with wrestling, especially with so many people based in Florida. Hopefully everyone is safe and doing well there, not only in terms of the wrestlers and WWE people, but also just listeners who might be there. And happy that you chose to tune in to us this week.
Yep. And just a quick programming reminder, we will be back recording middle of the week to talk about Extreme Rules. So that should drop Thursday-ish.
Let's call it Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday-ish. So we'll probably not talk about too much about what's gonna happen, because we're gonna give you a full recap of like all of the storylines going into Extreme Rules. So just a heads up for people. But we're here. We're glad to be here. Yep. We're gonna talk a little bit of news. Every time I say I'm not gonna talk about her, like, I need to just accept that she's doing what she needs to do right now.
Yeah.
Sasha just comes in and is like, nope, I'm going to trend for a whole week again. And I'm
what
like,
did she do this time?
Mother. Sasha changed all of her social media handles, removing like Sasha Banks WWE from her Twitter, going straight to her real name, Mercedes Vernado. She already did this with her like usernames a while back, and it gave us a heart attack a while back.
Yeah.
Now it's like her actual handles and stuff. She even tweeted out like new handle, same person behind it, whatever. And like she changed everything, like her TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, cameos, everything.
Everything.
And I mean, at this point, I'm just like, whatever you want to do.
Good for you. I know, good for her, because at the end of the day, whether or not she returns to WWE, and she does still have Sasha Banks WWE listed in her bio, so that's that. But if she decides to stay, she has her name, and she'll always have her name, and she'll be able to keep that. And I like that she's leaning into that more, especially while there's still a chance that she might be back. And if she leaves, obviously she's setting herself up. Like, people need to know who she is, and I think that is really a boss move, and something that I'm glad that she's doing for herself.
Oh yeah, she's literally booked and busy. That's why I'm not panicking. She's been modeling. She's been on sets of TV shows, movie shows, Fashion Week. Her and Naomi have been like everywhere. So I think this is just smart from a business perspective. And we've known for weeks now that the door is open. you know, it seems more likely than it pretty much was. And I think we talked about it a few weeks ago. It's like she'll probably come back on her own time. Like they're not rushing back, you know. So if she has stuff lined up to do that she wants to do, then the WWE will always be there. Let's be real, the WWE will always be there.
1000%.
Yeah, with the door open, waiting for her to like step on through. So I'm not too worried.
I mean, and the other thing I would say too is one, I'm with you completely. And we have seen in the past, like there was a point after WrestleMania and the rumors about Bailey and Sasha rolling around on the floor, crying,
Oh,
kicking, and
right.
screaming a few years back. There was a little bit of a time where we were thinking, will Sasha come back? What will happen? And you know, sometimes people just need breaks and be able to step back. And she has the privilege of being able to do that. A lot of people do have points where they step back. This definitely has seemed more permanent, but you know, she could come back whenever she wants. It could be, you know, this month, it could be next year, it could be in 5 years. We want her back as soon as possible into our screens and wrestling and all of that, but she has to really take care of herself first and foremost. And so that's one thing I appreciate. My big question is what exactly prompted her to change her handle to her name? Like, was it a negative conversation? Was it a positive conversation? Was it a conversation at all? Was it something she'd been planning on?
I want to know. I think it was just for booking purposes. It's just to make it more streamlined because she is really like, I'm looking up and she's everywhere, like literally. So I really think it's just to make sure like nobody's confused when she's booking all of these gigs. It's just straight up, just her name.
Yeah.
You know who you're getting, you know, not too much confusion. Probably the conversation was some bigwig being like, wait, who is this? You know, and then Sasha? They were like, oh, I know her. No, they're like, I thought her name was Mercedes.
It's like it is. Also, Mercedes, Mercedes Varnado, like I don't want to say it's a better name than Sasha Banks, but it's a better name than Sasha Banks because
it's better real person name. Like it's the name of a real person.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a you know, not a fictional character.
I'm just looking at her name, Varnado. It's like a tornado, and she's coming through. Like she's like
ridiculous right now.
Well, look, I'm trying to cut a promo for Sasha, but she doesn't need it. So
either way, we need to stop because we talk about
Sorry, this is gonna be 30 minutes of us talking about Sasha.
I mean, she literally is the conversation. So it's like we can't. It's not our fault. She's just always the conversation.
Love her and love that for her. And
exactly.
If you're not following her already, at Mercedes Varnado, as we said, we'll stay on Sasha. We'll stay on Mercedes watch.
Mercedes watch, constantly. We need like.
Wait, by the way, Mari, something we haven't talked about in relation to her, and I do have to show this, and I'm just gonna put it up because this goes back to a conversation we had months ago with Solomon, Missouri, about Mercedes. And have you seen her Twitter header image?
Think so. Yes,
it's literally a $30,000
bill.
Yeah, $30,000 bill. I had not seen that until now. So look, she's rubbing it in your face. She will charge $30,000 to show up, and you're gonna pay her that money.
Yeah.
So very
happy. That's from
the
Comic-Con in Chicago that her and Naomi did. One of their fans brought that for her.
Good for her. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
In other news. Dr. Chris Amman is no longer with the company. If that name sounds familiar, that is the doctor who was like also sued along with WWE in the CM Punk trial. My only thought for this news was, why has he still been on staff this whole entire time? Because he clearly, like, it's all the CM Punk stuff aside. When I had read a few years ago, when I had read the transcript of the trial and what CM Punk had alleged that Dr. Amman did, I was like, wow, that is like medical malpractice. Like I literally remember reading what had happened and being like, you cannot do that. Like, this is all from off the top of my head, but
Thank you.
basically prescribing CM Punk Z-Packs, like antibiotics, for things that didn't really sound like they needed antibiotics, which could have caused CM Punk to defecate himself in ring. Like, it truly, like,
Ew.
despicable thing. Like, CM Punk talks about how he had like a boil, or like or like a sore on his like lower back, right where his trunks were, and how he
Yeah.
had went to Amman. And everything that I heard about that court, I was like, it seems like everything that Amman had did, okay, allegedly, um
Allegedly.
allegedly, seemed to just make the matter worse. I think there was
Mhm.
also issues with him in like concussion protocols and stuff like
Yeah,
that, from what I
definitely.
remember. So, I mean, hopefully they get a better doctor. I mean, he's not the
Yeah.
Chargers doctor. He doesn't sound as bad as the Chargers doctor, but he's up there a little bit. Sports reference for those out there.
Oh yeah, sporting, charging,
Sporting things.
charging. I have a phone. It's charging right now. The chargers. And also just on. So you mentioned a few things with him, and that was definitely the most notable. And I'm not remembering exactly what the situation was, but I remember just a couple of years ago, or maybe it was last year even. There was news of like a relationship he had with a women's wrestler who I don't even think it matters that much who it was. I don't know about like I just know that that was a conversation, and I don't know about the ethics of that or how that affected things,
Wow.
but it's just interesting times for him and sketchy. Like you would think that they would say, okay, we have a few concerns with this doctor, let's get rid of them, but this is just the WWE's problems. And I think that with Vince McMahon gone and a lot of that old regime gone, that you're going to start seeing people like this who just shouldn't have been there getting out. So forget you go home. Goodbye, sir. Good luck, doctor. Please don't practice. Actually, I don't know. Allegedly. I just had to throw that in too, right, Mari?
Allegedly. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, I mean, that's about it.
Yeah.
News be newsing.
Yeah.
Um, if you want more news, you can you can download the Daily Smark app wherever you get your apps. At Daily Smark, they compile all of the news from AEW, WWE, and all of your favorite wrestling promotions. So feel free, get your news over there. For us, you can send any long form questions to wrestling at robhasawebsite.com. You can follow us on Twitter at Wrestling RHAPUp. And you can use hashtag Wrestling RHAPUp to join the conversation on Twitter. And of course, you can join our unofficial official Facebook group. Job has a squadcast if you want to ask us questions, if you want to catch our live shows. So another programming note, after Extreme Rules, is Extreme Rules on? It's on a Saturday, right?
Sure. Yeah. In Philly.
I think it is. Okay, it's on Saturday. Yeah, so the Extreme Rules is on Saturday. We are going to go live on Sunday at noon to give our live reactions to the pay-per-view. So if you want to watch us live, you want to send us questions, comments, you can join the Job Has a Squadcast Facebook group because we'll be streaming live in there. We will
Mhm.
also be streaming live to our Twitter account, right, Matt?
Yeah, we'll be streaming live, so you could weigh in. Typically, I remember last time that we did it, that it was a lot of people from Job as a Squadcast. So join that group because you'll get to see other people's comments, and we'll pull up some
Mhm.
of them on the screen. But I feel like that's like the fun experience, the
The
real
best
way to
way.
do it, and
Mhm.
cool to see which of our listeners are tuned in and watching live. So hopefully you all could join us live again Sunday. This is Sunday the 9th, I want to say,
9th.
Mari. Sunday the
9th, yes,
9th
at
at
noon.
noon Eastern time. That's
Yeah,
right.
and we'll make sure we plaster that everywhere.
We
Um,
will.
and guess what? It's the first of the month, so you know what
Ooh.
that means.
Mhm.
You can join the RHAP Patreon group by going to www.patreon.com/RHAP. Become a patron. Become a patron at our Patreon.
That's right.
Well, you'll get exclusive access to like exclusive podcasts, exclusive content,
That's
uh
right.
early early admission to tickets and stuff. It's really
Yeah.
fun. It's the first of the month. Go join. Go
Yes.
sign up.
Yeah,
Okay.
take that paycheck and put $5 of it to RHAP as a podcast this week.
I'm like, don't tell them for their whole paycheck. Yes.
I mean,
of course.
thank you.
And of course, hopefully you've already subscribed. If not, stop what you're doing. Go subscribe to our podcast by going to robhasawebsite.com/wrestling feed to rate, review, and subscribe. Please, please, please send us your ratings, your reviews, and subscriptions. We would love them. You can also watch our pretty faces here on YouTube. Again, stop what you're doing. Go watch us on YouTube by going to the Rob Has a Podcast YouTube page, searching Wrestling RHAPUp. All right. So let's just take a very, very quick ad break and we'll get back to it. All right, Matt.
All right, we're back.
We have a guest.
We have a guest. Yes, let me welcome our guest. And look, we have a lot of exciting things planned with this guest. So let me just get into the action, right, Mari?
Yeah.
Making his way to the podcast, hailing from Fort Wayne, Indiana, by way of Buffalo, New York, and many stops in between, from joining RHAP as a podcast in 2012 with the Frickin' Five, all the way to covering shows like Survivor, Pirate Master, and Endurance, from Wandoffs with Jordan Kalish to planting seeds, baby, as a former junior Bible quiz champion, a lover of theater and the arts, and a reality TV super fan. Please welcome the one, the only, Aaron Robertson.
Yay.
Hello,
Hi.
everybody listening to the Wrestling RHAPUp.
Yes.
It's great to be here. I remember growing up during the Attitude Era.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that was very, influential on me as a child. I remember being like terrified of Kane and the Undertaker and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And then
Still am.
once we started getting into the ruthless
Well.
aggression era, I switched from the Survivor Series to the CBS Survivor Series. So kind of yeah, I kind of fell.
Gotcha.
So corny.
I know it's very corny, but I had to do it. It was sitting right there. So
It was, and I'm glad you did it.
Yeah, it was mayor of Slamtown when I was living in New York. I started attending wrestling shows that he was in while I was there, and so I got the Slamtown buff that he was giving out. It was great.
Nice.
And so and now I'm
back.
slowly, coming back into it.
One
things.
foot
It's
in.
Crawling back. Yes.
Yeah, I was, I think this was a nice, dip your toe in kind of a week, just to kind of test the waters, see what's happening lately. So yeah,
I know. I wish we had some more better material for you, Aaron.
But you know what, Aaron, you are the material, and that's what this is about. So if the people might come for the wrestling, but they'll stay for the Aaron, and that's what it's all about.
Thank you.
Yes, because we're really excited to incorporate some new things. We love when we have new guests. We love to incorporate new segments. So just keep watch for that. Let's get straight into the highlights of the week. Of course, every week we go over the highlights of the week in wrestling, and we have little clips. And the little clips are in very, very handy dandy playlists that can be found either in our show notes or show descriptions. Let's start off with what everybody is talking about. I mean, literally, like we got at least just 3 questions in the chat about. You hear it? You feel the bubbling atmosphere?
Oh yeah, I have flashbacks of this song.
It's so good, right? Like
It's so good.
so spooky. I forgot how long the entrance was. It's
a very
fine.
long intro.
But what we're talking about right now is
wow, that was kind of funky.
The White Rabbit. So for the past few weeks in WWE, this White Rabbit song by Jefferson Airplanes has been played like during commercials as Raw goes off air, very like spookily, like very like not on the show proper. But then on the show proper, we'll get like QR codes popping up. And then on the QR codes, you scan the QR codes and there's like the White Rabbit and there's like videos and links to coordinates. So it's really weird and creepy stuff for me. Like at one point, I think this week, there was a QR code where it led to a recording that you had to play backwards. I am not one for having to play something backwards. Like I don't believe in the devil's music, but whenever I have to play something backwards to hear words, that has always creeped me out as a kid. Like I don't like it.
Yeah.
Keep it.
Matt, Mari, look, you mentioned the QR codes and everything else. And honestly, I'm not one. I mean, you might not be one to play things backwards to like listen and do all that. I think that's cool. I'm just not one nowadays to click on random links and QR codes because it gets me nervous. I'm not trying to get hacked by WWE. Fair. I don't know who this White Rabbit person is, so just leave me alone. But shout out to Jefferson Airplane and the band and the music and all of that. Good for them. But I'm just not trying to get my identity stolen. I don't want to be fished. I don't need anyone else pretending to be me. So I did not follow the QR code, Mari.
Yes. Aaron, you said like you really like that song. What are your vivid memories of the song?
Yeah. In audio engineering school, we had the project. It was called the White Rabbit, and we had to do various tasks with the raw recording of the White Rabbit. And so like mixing the stems and like making a CD. So I had to know this song inside and out.
Look, we did that on purpose.
So it was hearing that again, I was like, wow, like the feed your ass, it's just like permanently burned into my mind from that exercise.
Wow.
So I have a question about this,
please.
Okay.
Now, have they introduced wrestlers or events in this kind of mysterious way where there's like these Easter eggs of some kind and then whatever is associated with them and they start appearing? Or is this like a completely new, like they don't do this kind of a thing?
I mean, they have done it. They've definitely done it. Mari, I'm curious if there's like an example of this that comes to mind for you, because there's one that comes to mind for me, but I'm curious if like what pops up is when they've done this before.
Of course, Chris Jericho's countdown.
Oh wait, we're literally on the same page. Yes, it was like save us .222. They made it look really millennia like and had all sorts of codes, and they were like, "Ooh, this is his zip code, and this is his weight," or like they would just work in all sorts of clues,
really random things. Yeah, and then when it came back, it was Chris Jericho with his countdown theme going by Y2J, and it was back then for me as a kid, it was unexpected for me because I didn't know what was going on. How the adults took it, I don't know, because it was like truly like a mystery. We did just get Edge doing something similar to this, like not just but 3 weeks ago with like a cryptic video package of all the people he had conquered, but it was more cryptic. It was easier. Cryptic. It was easier to put together. This, I guess, is easy to put together once you go the extra mile, because like Matt said, I'm not clicking on any QR codes. I just had other people, I just watched other people on social media do all of the work and listen to their conclusions. So that was as far as I personally went.
Neither of us is big on like the red string diagram with the little pins and all. Like we like those, we just don't like to be the ones to put them together. And honestly, I don't really understand. How do I make all the connections between the clues? It's a lot. But yes, Mari, what is the social media telling us about these clues?
So let's go to our questions. So we did get Kristen from the Job Has a Squadcast group said, what do you think of all the QR code shenanigans that WWE is sprinkling throughout their events? Something is afoot. Yes, something is afoot, and we are not clicking on those QR codes like we said.
That's right. And honestly, what's the point? Really, I've always had issues with QR codes this whole time. Back in the day, before you could scan a QR code with the little camera on your phone and then go to the website, you had to download another app to access QR
Yes,
codes.
exactly.
So,
You really did.
I mean, I kind of have feelings against QR codes from that era. Just tell us, put it on the screen. Don't make it difficult, people. We're going to find out what's there on the other end anyway.
So what the internet is saying is that it's going to be Bray Wyatt. We got a question from the great Edmo. Edmo said, when the hell are we getting Bray back and which Bray? So we can kind of answer that a little bit. And Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful has said that it seems like we're getting an Extreme Rules debut for the White Rabbit. They're currently just calling the person the White Rabbit. Everybody thinks it's Bray Wyatt. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So Bray Wyatt, who was most recently, a few years ago, known as the Fiend Bray Wyatt, and his spooky demon character, may now be the person behind the White Rabbit. There again, all of it. We'll put the links in the thing, but it's like if you click the QR code, there's coordinates, and if you go to the coordinates, there's this rabbit next to this. Like on Google Maps, it's this big rabbit in the middle of Paris. It's weird, Aaron. I'm like, I don't like touching on, clicking on things like this. And then
that's some deep stuff.
Yes, and then next to the rabbit, there's an inn, and it's called the "Let Me In," which is one of Bray Wyatt's catchphrases. On the QR code for this week, I think what we saw was there were also there was zip codes or something like that, and the zip code was to Corbin, Kentucky, though. So maybe
that's where he lives now. I don't know.
And as a reminder, because I one of the few things that popped up for me in my wrestling gap, I just remember this really creepy Bayou-esque family group of people.
Yes.
And I was like, is this the same person that was in that, or is this a different group of people?
Nope, you got it. You hit the nail on the head.
Okay, because they creep me out. And so this fits right in with that. That was the first group that I thought of when I saw those. So the fact that it actually is possibly one of those people is very spot on for me.
Yes, Bray Wyatt was the head of those people.
The Fiends, we have a picture of the Fiends with the mask and everything.
Oh,
honestly, it's a little
so creepy when they were like that. It was so.
I know it's a lot. It's a lot.
So so we're going from swamp cult leader to the Fiend to possibly this White Rabbit. Like I said on the QR code this week. Listen to this. This is really too much, y'all. So if you on the newest QR code, if you zoom on the newest clue, there's a White Rabbit logo at the bottom of the site. The file name is TS_S10E6. People think this stands for The Simpsons Season 10, Episode 6, which is the White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane episode.
Of course it does. Of course it does.
And then in the file name of the White Rabbit image, there's a phone number. And this is what I was talking about.
People call the phone number?
Yes. The phone number is 855-489-5099. It's for public consumption.
Don't dox him.
It's not doxing. It's for public consumption. They want you to call it because it plays a message backwards.
Wait, hold on. I almost
Right. Yeah, you could call. Aaron,
wait, what is this number? What is this number?
Call it.
Wait, hold on.
What's the number?
Mute yourself. Don't play that mess on.
Mari, read the number again.
I got it. I'll post it in the chat.
Okay, good. But yeah, let me just say, as Aaron does the deep investigation work, thank you so much, Aaron. This is like a true crime podcast in a way where we're just trying to piece everything together.
Oh,
And
hell no.
I said not to.
Oh no.
I'm walking out of my own podcast.
Okay, nope. That's all I needed. Oh my god.
Oh my god. I'm like worried this is gonna turn into a horror movie. And honestly, I think I'll be the one to survive, which I'll be so thankful for because I haven't opened any QR codes. I haven't read what any codes stand for, and I definitely haven't called any numbers.
I'm so sorry. I couldn't listen to that alone. I couldn't do it.
I'm glad you didn't. Wait, what? Yeah, oh my god. Wait, I think we just all got cursed. Like us podcasters, the listeners.
This is literally how scary movies start. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my god.
When played in reverse.
No.
I'm not playing it in reverse. I think that it is here in reverse.
Oh no. Oh, Matt's gone.
He got taken.
Yep, he did.
I wasn't even looking.
You don't want to know what just happened.
Okay. You went to the upside down. All right.
I feel very attacked.
So
wow,
when
this is
played
insane.
in reverse, the message says,
yeah, it's good to know.
Bravo Echo Lima Alpha India Romero. I am the way into the city of woe. I am eternal sorrow. So
speaking to Belair,
right? That's what I said. I was like, "What, Belair?" Like I was so confused about that. I was like, "Leave Bianca alone."
Yeah,
that's weird. I don't know what that means, but that first part. But the I am the way into the city of woe. I am the way into eternal sorrow.
No.
It's a quote from I think Dante's Inferno here. I am the way into the city of woe. I am the way into eternal pain. I am the way to go among the lost. I think that's
Mari,
a quote
you're conjuring some stuff that I don't feel comfortable with right now.
I'm almost done. And then you can interrupt me one more time.
There's more.
Yes. And so that I am the way into the city of woe is also a notable quote from Bray Wyatt. So that's why it feels like it's always coming back to him. In a previous video, we also got, like, in one of the first QR code videos, we got it where it's like the question was who killed the world? Who killed the world?
Yeah,
you did.
And you did. So I mean, it's all really kind of pointing to Bray Wyatt here. But we did get a question from Derek B in the Facebook group. Can you brainstorm other options for the White Rabbit? I am very likely in the minority, but I have zero excitement to see Bray Wyatt again.
I actually did have a thought from that message.
Okay.
Because if it is to Belair, and if we're thinking this is happening during the
women's match,
during the Extreme Rules,
Extreme Rules,
are there like weird death storyline things?
They've kind of shied away from doing like death storylines since they did the, like, Vince McMahon was exploded in a limo.
Deaths. Oh god.
And then he was supposed to explode in a limo, and then and then 2 days later, Chris Benoit died, and then he had to come back on the. So they've really not, like Matt said, since the actual deaths, they tried not to really play with death storylines as much as they used to do it very freely in that attitude. They were like Marvel back then. They're like, bump one character off and then they might show up as somebody else later or something.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was going to be like Belair in Infernal World or some kind of like
a Bizarro Bianca.
Like getting out of the underground, or like maybe Wyatt's daughter, or like somebody related to him.
Which it could be. I mean, Yeah, it could be something to do. See, this is all getting me to think about Alexa Bliss,
Me
who
too.
was with Bray Wyatt when he was the Fiend, and she has been alongside Bianca
Bianca
Belair
Belair.
lately. So there could be something there. Like maybe maybe that's not it. Like maybe there is a return for Bray Wyatt as the Fiend, but then also a return for Alexa Bliss in her creepy demon-y, creepy murdery, whatever you'd want to call her
Oh, do you
character.
think Bliss is gonna turn?
Yeah. Well,
Maybe.
she was when Bray Wyatt was the Fiend, she was kind of like he had like kidnapped her, brainwashed her, and she was like his like zombie, at one point. And then once he left, she kind of continued on. She had like superpowers. It was weird.
Wow.
But then she went through therapy and is now doesn't. Yes, Aaron. Like, I wish I was joking.
She did go through therapy.
Did we
so
see the therapy?
we
Like, when did we?
Well, we did.
Unfortunately, we saw all of the
Oh
therapy.
no!
We have to put therapy in air
Therapy.
quotes and do
Yeah.
an
Oh,
allegedly
wow.
therapy. Yes,
Yeah.
Alexa
Oh, and
and
then
Bray.
Wow,
Yeah. We have a
okay, that's
picture
why
of
she was
Bray and
holding the
Alexa.
dog, because I thought that was
Yes.
like, I was like,
Creepy. Creepy
this
dog.
seems off.
Oh, it is off.
It doesn't make sense with her current good character.
Yeah, and I was like, why is the dog gonna start talking to her and like being like,
It used to.
Been there, done that. Yep.
They did do okay. Okay.
All of it. Everything that you're thinking of, it just happened. So
Good to know.
so I mean, also people were like, Corbin, Kentucky, could it be Baron Corbin? Could Baron Corbin come back like with a new persona? We haven't seen Baron Corbin in weeks.
Would it be like a team now?
Well,
Like a
so
new
Baron Corbin is like just that would be bad if it was a tag team. I can't even. Baron Corbin was like a wrestler. He's been through a few like changes. I don't know if he can pull off that type of character. Like I think Corbin has really good character work. It's one of the few things that I really do like about him, but I don't know if he could pull off like a supernatural character like to that extent. I mean, we're gonna be like I think honestly it's just gonna be Bray Wyatt, and if it's not Bray Wyatt, I'm scared for whoever
I'd be
it's gonna
shocked.
be.
Yeah, because the anticipation, it's almost like if you create anticipation and you make it think it's him and he was a main event star, that's not good. That's not good if it's anyone else. So I think it kind of has to be him.
At this point.
Yeah,
or else it's just disappointment. Yeah. They better call him if it's not him.
But why is Belair there though?
I think it's gonna happen during that match.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Philly. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We're in Philly. Will Smith will show up.
Oh, okay.
Will Smith is a white rabbit. Yeah. Yeah. No.
That's my best guess. That's not Bray Wyatt.
So because what if it is a woman? Like,
because that's what I was thinking. If I thought it was gonna be like a daughter or somebody related to him.
I don't know if I would want Spooky Alexa back, only because it felt like they didn't know what to do with Spooky Alexa. Honestly, they barely know what
Are
to
they
do
doing
with
it as like a
Bray.
Halloween event? Like a spooky kind of. It's October. Ooh.
It's October, right?
I did search, by the way, Alexa Bliss bunny ears, and nothing came up.
Okay. I can't think of any other like spooky women's acts.
Right. Yeah.
Oh well.
We'll see. We will get the answers in a week. So that's all that matters. Thank you everybody for your questions about the White Rabbit. Any final thoughts from the panel about this? All right.
No.
So let's move on to the women. Speaking of the women, Damage Control continued to dominate the division. You know, it's like I'm pretty sure I will recap all of this when we get to Bayley and Bianca, but we did not talk anything about WWE the previous week, so it's kind of like 2 weeks to kind of catch up on. So I'm just trying to help us out here a little bit. But 2 weeks ago, Damage Control came out with their bedazzled golf cart, which could be seen if you are watching us on YouTube, to celebrate their wins, just to be annoying, Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss came out to shut them up. And later on in the night, we got a match. I think it was, who was it? It was Bianca versus.
So that night, last week was Alexa versus Bayley, and then
okay, that's right.
this
Alexa
week
versus
we
Bayley.
got Bianca versus Io. So they kind of keep going with the one-on-one combinations here.
Exactly that, yeah. And after the Alexa Bayley match, we got Bayley and Damage Control. They beat up Bianca, and Bayley demanded a ladder match, which is like, so like, I'm so glad that they're starting back to where they were. Like right before Bayley was injured and she was out for a year, Aaron, and so she just came back like 2 months ago.
Okay, so that's what I thought. Okay.
And she got injured right before they were about to do weren't they about to do a Hell in a Cell? They're like, was it a Hell in a Cell? They're about to do some sort of a stream match. They had just did the Hell in a Cell. So they're about to do like, was it a ladder match or an Extreme Rules match?
It was at Money in the Bank, I believe. Money in the Bank, they were going to have a match.
Okay, doesn't matter, but it's like they're picking right back up. Aaron, what did you think about these matches here, the women here?
Yeah, I was trying to get in the story, and I mean, I was enraptured in it. It was weird. It was weird because it was like it was weird because like some moments I was in it and some moments I was out of it this week for some reason. I think especially with the later matches I felt were better as far as like the energy and the commitment, but for some reason this one just seemed a little off to me.
Okay.
But I mean, and maybe that's because I didn't really have anything to compare it to. I'm just kind of coming into
this was
it.
the first
like I was
clips we sent you. Yeah, that makes sense. So, I mean, and we kind of start off with promos. There's promos. What did you think about Bianca versus Io? That match.
Oh, I really enjoyed it. I thought that was a lot of fun. And some of those moves were just oof. I was screaming alongside everybody else, so it was really cool.
I did like this from Bianca. Real quick, Matt. I thought this is, again, we've been kind of talking about, she's a babyface champion. You need to give her adversity, and this is the type of adversity and like firing up that I like to see. Her and Io, again, two of the best women's wrestlers. Wrestling is always a good time. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think that's part of what I was going to say. Like, it's always amazing with these two in the ring, and I mean, we have a lot of amazing combinations in the women's wrestlers that are in this storyline between Asuka, Alexa Bliss, and Bianca Belair, and then Damage Control with Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and Bayley. And so obviously the in-ring work's going to be great. I just wish we would have gotten more like insane stories leading up to insane outside of the ring kind of stories and like little segments and everything leading up to Extreme Rules. So like if it's just like out of nowhere, we see like Bayley backstage hitting Alexa Bliss, like throwing Alexa Bliss into a trash can, or like like all sorts of stuff like that. That's just a little bit more like drama, taking it to the next level. And then also if they could make it seem more unexpected, like camera running down down the hall as like a beatdown's going on. Like that to me would make it feel more tumultuous. But I'm not a fan of seeing people standing in the ring across from each other when they kind of have a blood feud, because I'm like, why are they not blooding each other?
Okay, yeah,
you know
that's what you spoke the words that I was feeling.
Thank you.
Because it just it felt like watching it, I'm like, okay, well, these are supposed to be like rivals, and like their words, you know, have a lot of you know, venom and rivalry in them. But when they're just static and kind of, you know, kind of saying things at each other for like time, I was like, you know, if you were at this point in your relationship, I feel like you already would have been brawling already. But
yeah,
maybe that's just what wrestling. Maybe that, you know, you have to kind of set the scene and then do it. But
that's basically what it is. Yeah, and that's a great point, Matt, because that's how Damage Control started, right? That's literally how they started. How they once they came on the scene, they were beating girls up in the back, and Bianca was running around trying to like remember? Yeah, like they took out Becky. They took Becky out, and
wow.
And so Bianca was like running to try and beat them up, and she kept getting there way too late. Like, so I agree. They probably need to go back to that, because now we're starting to get the goofy kind of heels in the ring talking promos when we kind of want to go back to like the really badass one. So maybe they just need to balance it out, because I like what they're doing. I love everything that Bayley does. I think she's in her bag when she's this type of heel. I just do want them to ratchet it up, especially also too, now that they are in the ring and they're no longer just doing sneak attacks backstage. They're starting to lose a lot. So you never like, you hate seeing the heels lose, you know, so I think they could turn it up a notch. We'll talk about it on our Extreme Rules preview, but we will see. A ladder match is always an interesting way to take the belt off the champion without the champion needing to be pinned.
Leave Bianca alone. Let her keep her championship. She didn't. Mari, don't say that. Don't jinx Bianca like that.
Since WrestleMania.
April, end of March, early April.
Yeah,
sure. Let's call it April.
And for reference of length of time, like how long do champions typically hold on to their belts? I mean, it's not long,
Aaron. But this is actually kind of a long reign, like maybe to put it into context, where she's had it a long time. Like sometimes we'll see people have we've seen people have championships for a month. We saw the women's tag team championships won in a tournament, and then 2 weeks later they were won by Damage Control, these who we're seeing here. So this is significant, but Bayley is also a huge deal, a huge star. This was a big return, and Damage Control had a big debut. And so I mean, I don't know what to say, but I think we could see Bianca chasing the championship, and that would also be phenomenal. We'll talk about it though in the Extreme Rules predictions.
Yes, we will.
Right? Yeah.
And the only reason why I did that exasperated side, Aaron, is because like Matt said, 2 weeks, Bianca 6 months, Roman Reigns 2.5 years. Right now,
Roman Reigns.
So it's just like it really runs the gamut at this point. Yeah, and women don't tend to get the really long runs, except for like unless you're Becky or Charlotte. So she's only had it since WrestleMania, but she's been in the title picture for the past 2 years, and she previously had it. She had won it at the previous WrestleMania and had it for like a few months. So so she's all, like Matt said, it feels like a longer reign because she's been at the top for so long. She's been at the top for so long, and it's such a good thing for her. But she will have to lose it eventually.
Yeah, you're right. Even when she wasn't champion, like she won the championship about 1.5 years ago from Sasha Banks at WrestleMania. And Bianca's been consistently at the top or in that top women's storyline and spot. And so she's the one to beat.
Yeah. My guess, I know we said we'll save it, but I was talking to James about this last night. Like,
Mm.
I don't know if she'll lose it here at Extreme Rules, but I think she'll lose it at least by or at Royal Rumble. I can see her losing it to Bailey at Royal Rumble, or maybe that's her final shot at the title at Royal Rumble, because I think Bailey has the championship going into WrestleMania to keep
You
their
know,
options open.
something I just want to put out there too. We mentioned last week that WWE, the Survivor Series pay-per-view, which happens toward the end of November,
Mhm.
that they are having like a War Games theme.
Yep.
So they'll have like these War Games matches, which for those who don't know is basically, at least in the NXT version, like 2 rings side by side surrounded by a cage, and like one wrestler enters at a time essentially over whatever. But
Mhm.
I feel like we're going to talk about Candice LeRae a little bit, but I'm just getting a sense that maybe we're going to get like Damage Control with somebody. So making a team of 4 versus Candice LeRae, Asuka, Alexa, and Bianca, maybe.
Mhm.
Like, we'll talk about Candice, but I think it's very interesting that she debuted here. And
I think
yeah,
Shotzi will be in there too.
that's
I don't
interesting to think about how they would do that.
I
Yeah.
I don't want Alexa Bliss in a War Games match.
I don't want. I mean, yeah, look, there's a whole lot of combinations, but I think Candice will be in there just because and we'll give background on her pedigree, but she like did the damn thing in NXT multiple times with the War Games.
Yeah. Yeah, so Matt queued it up. Candice
Oh,
LeRae came back. Yeah, so I had to go back and rewatch this on like TV because I watched the clip first. The clip was sent to me first, and then I went back and watched it on TV. A few things about her entrance here. Aaron, I believe you had a question about her.
yeah. What was
Yeah,
your
I and maybe as a green
Yeah,
wrestling
don't be
fan
averse.
coming back into it, after decades. Um, I think something that's always has confused me about wrestling was the schedule or what's considered mainstream wrestling. Are there like different groups and
Mhm.
like is WWE and Raw two different things? It
Okay.
just seemed it was like, oh, you're here. Why are you here? And I was like, was she somewhere else? Has she been gone for years and just came back? Like, what's the
Mhm.
significance of being on Monday night? Is Monday night casual? Is Monday
Mm.
night the big prime time? Um, yeah, I
Yeah.
think in context of watching, I mean, if everybody was acting like this was a monumental thing, but I
Mhm.
didn't really have the context for why her being specifically here on Monday night was this
Mhm.
huge, like, wow, Monday night, you're never here on like, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That's an interesting point. It just maybe just started out like one thing is so Monday Night Raw has always been like the cornerstone show for WWE, and then there's also SmackDown. And as Martin and I've talked about, like between SmackDown and Raw, SmackDown has been better at certain points, Raw's been better at some points, but those are like those are referred to as the main roster and the main show. And Candice was in NXT, like the development territory, for
For
all intents and
WWE.
purposes
Mhm.
for WWE. And so, Candice actually was out like for I wouldn't say like July until giving birth in December
Oh,
to a
wow.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
she
She's been
she
out
had a
for a
baby.
year. Yeah,
Yeah,
at
basically.
least.
And
Mhm.
so she's back, but the thing is she's never
That
like this is her main roster
Mhm.
debut and everything. And so
Oh,
this is
Yeah.
like
oh,
her
okay.
being
Okay.
called up, even though like people know who she is, she's not as established for the casual
Yeah.
fans and for the main roster fans, right,
Yeah. So
Mari?
you would not be alone, like
Okay.
thinking like, who is this? Because what again we've come to realize as people who watch a lot of wrestling, a
Mhm.
lot of people don't like WWE NXT is their developmental brand. It
Yeah.
is like on Wednesday, it's on Tuesdays now.
Tuesdays, yeah.
It was a big deal for us. It then kind of like faded. It's been in and out, but a lot of people don't watch that just because they don't have the time. Like Raw and SmackDown may average like 2 million viewers on and off, fluctuating.
Okay.
While NXT averages about 800,000 ish.
Fair.
So,
Okay.
you know, not everybody, and it's a developmental brand, which means that it's for them to develop stars. Now, Candice LeRae, like Matt said, she went out a year ago, but she was on screen pregnant for like months on screen. Like she was still, they still let her, like she had a storyline within a faction, and she was pregnant. Yes, Matt.
Not wrestling. She was not wrestling.
Yeah, she was not.
Okay, good. Because I was like,
Okay,
oh my
well,
God.
sorry.
Oh no.
I thought that was implied. She was not wrestling, but she was on screen. And so she technically has not wrestled in what feels like at least 2 years or so.
Oh,
And then
wow.
before that, before coming to WWE, like 4 or 5 years ago, whatever, 4 years, something like that. 5 years. Yeah, before 5 years ago, she was an established indie wrestling star. So she's like well established in the independent scene, and
Okay.
like that's why they called her like one of the most decorated women's wrestlers all around, because she made a name for herself traveling the world and stuff like that. Then she came to WWE NXT, and she was in NXT before she went out for her pregnancy. And they mentioned she's the wife of Johnny Gargano, which I didn't really see any clips of this week, except for his theme song. And you know, I hope they don't harp on that too much. We did get a question in the chat from Ashley, which she asked, how loud did you pop for Candice LeRae? So for me, I did pop for Candice LeRae, but there are a few very clunky things here for me. The setup, there was no setup. So if you're watching, yeah,
what?
If you are watching Raw, it went from like a Miz segment directly into Nikki ASH being in the ring. And I was like, wow, Nikki ASH, who was a former women's champion, like last year around this time, didn't get an entrance. That's what we call a jobber.
Wow.
That's what we call a jobber entrance. Like the clip that I sent you, that was the moment that segment started. So she didn't even get an entrance. She was just in the ring. And then there was no challenge. Like I specifically went back because I was like, did Nikki give do promo work, do an open challenge? No, she was just in the ring waiting. It was up to the announcers to be like, yeah, Nikki ASH is up for some action. And then Candice LeRae comes out, and I'm sorry, she did not get a very loud reaction.
No.
Yeah, which was sad,
Not even
but
close.
yeah, but it's just unfortunate because again, it's very niche. It's very niche, and you know, she was in an NXT. She never got to be NXT Women's Champion before she went out, but she is known. But you know, you got to kind of pick your markets, you know. So there, like once people started to really realize, I felt that the applause built, but it definitely wasn't the loud pop at the beginning. But she's awesome, and the one thing she's gonna do is wrestle. And
I really enjoyed watching her. I would have never known that she was out for a year.
Yes, right.
And even before that, not even wrestling. So like it just seemed very natural to her. And I could easily see why she was decorated. I mean, she really did that. And I'm excited to see where she goes from here. And hopefully, you know, she develops her way into stardom here in the main events.
I agree. This is a perfect spot for her.
Yeah, it is. And just to kind of like, just to add to kind of what you've been saying about this, like, I don't think they did her any favors. So number one, like her theme song came on, and the problem is it didn't like immediately say her name. So I think a lot of people are like, who is this? Is this someone? Like, I think most people probably just assumed it was someone on the current roster because it's not like she has like the most recognizable theme.
Exactly.
And then you have Nikki ASH in the ring, and she's also not someone that people are that excited by. So putting Candice against someone who the fans were like just didn't want to see, or the fans were vehemently against, like even having someone get in the ring and just cut a promo on the fans and talk about how horrible they are, like, and then Candice coming out would immediately lead to a big pop there.
Yes.
But then again, people, like you said, Mari, don't necessarily
No
even know who
setup.
she is. But it
Mhm.
just didn't help that it's against Nikki ASH, where it's like, why do we
Exactly.
care about this match from a casual fan perspective? And so, I mean, I'll also point to the fact that, Mari, you pointed to the ratings as a difference in the view, you know, how in the audiences, but I'll also point to, and I don't have like numbers tied to this, but if you look at clips from WWE's NXT where Candice was compared with like WWE Raw or SmackDown, the main shows, you'll have some of those clips from the main shows that are in the millions or high hundred thousands, and some that just have tens of thousands from NXT. So there's definitely a big difference in terms of the viewership. But yeah, I mean, I'm
great point.
excited for Candice. I just didn't love this debut for her. And I also didn't really love the debut for her husband, or the re-debut for her husband, Johnny Gargano, aka Johnny Wrestling, because he kind of just came out too. And so it's like, let's get creative. We need to get creative.
When he came out, I think they were in like a very wrestling centric city.
They might have, somewhere.
I think they
It
were
wasn't
like
his
in like,
hometown, but
it
it
wasn't
was
his
somewhere.
hometown, but it was like, I don't know if it was New York or Philly or something.
Okay,
it was like
sure.
very wrestling centric. So, and he's made a bigger name for himself on NXT. I mean, he carried NXT on his back for like years.
And his
So
theme song is iconic
it's
for people
iconic.
still. Like, even it
Yeah.
was removed from Spotify. It's still not on Spotify, which I keep bringing up because a lot of people, I saw so many tweets about it when it was removed, which is how I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize this was such a huge deal. But he is.
That's the one I sent to you via YouTube.
Yeah, and I did see that. Oh, you know what? I need to add that to the rank because I forgot to add that one to the ranking. But let me.
Yes, and we'll talk more about this ranking later. Just a little tease for what's
a little tease. Ooh, it's like the White Rabbit QR code.
And I think you kind of bring up like I think you kind of bring up an even bigger point here, Matt. There's no secondary. It doesn't feel like there's any secondary villains for the women because right now it's all tied up in Damage Control. So if Damage Control is not the ones out there, you know, rah talking, then are you gonna get your babyface over? Because Nikki ASH and Doudrop are supposed to be bad guys, and like I said, she got no promo time. She was just in the ring as a jobber. And something that they didn't show in those clips, that again, I'm so glad that I went back and watched. After Candice beat Nikki ASH, Nikki she went into the corner and was crying. She took her mask off and she was like shaking. And so I was like, oh yes, bitch. So hopefully we are getting the Sanity style Nikki ASH back. So Aaron, Nikki ASH, who was ASH, that stands for almost a superhero, blah 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 blah.
Oh,
that get up she was wearing, it was normally in blue and yellow. She was originally like a Molly Holly style character, if you remember from the Attitude Era. Like she was supposed to be a good girl hero, and then that's when she won the title. She only had the title for like a month, and then sorry for all of our listeners if we're recapping this, but and she like she's done nothing. She's basically done nothing for the past like 5 months, unfortunately. And she's been going through like an identity crisis with Doudrop, like in the background of stuff. So she's trying to figure out what her identity is. And it seems like they're going through like she's breaking type of storyline, which is great because her original character when she came into WWE was with this group called Sanity, and their names are Sanity because they were clearly all insane. And she would literally just come into the ring just like snarling. They used to call her like feral. She would just like, it was such a great character for her, and it was also in NXT, and it was probably her best character that she did. And then when she came up to the main roster, it just all fell to pieces. Because they try to make her like a good guy, and it was a lot. So if they're trying to get her back to that like Sanity character, I am so here for it. Like I truly want that for us because I feel so bad for her.
And side question. So
Mhm.
when in terms of the career of a wrestler, like, you were saying that she was the champion at around this time last year.
Mhm.
If people kind of fall off, like, is this common for people to just kind of fall off that were even former champions, or people that were
Yeah.
seen a lot?
Yeah, the problem is you have a very, like, large roster. You have a very bloated roster.
Oh, okay.
The good thing that they did do was they created multiple championships. So there's a Raw Women's Champion and a SmackDown Women's Champion. There's, so they try to, and then it's a brand thing. So you were asking about this earlier, but normally there are certain people who are set to the Raw brand, and there are normal people who are set to the SmackDown brand. So if you're on the SmackDown brand, then you chase the SmackDown titles. If you're on the Raw brand, you chase the Raw titles. There's been a lot of intermixing, and they told us a while ago that they'll like intermix stuff for storyline purposes.
Right.
Mhm.
And as I think about it, I'm like, it hasn't been too egregious really for me.
No.
Yeah, it hasn't been really bad. So it is normal because they can put the belt on you, but if you can't carry and they take the belt off of you and you're not connecting with the audience, this will happen. Like, yeah, this is a
Oh, okay.
picture of Nikki ASH when she was a Raw champion. This was back. This was she became the Raw Women's Champion at Money in the Bank, and I think it was July of July of last year, Matt, or
Yeah,
August?
July of
August
I think she
of last
won.
year.
She won. Did she win? So she
She
won Money in the
won
Bank
Money in the
in
Bank, and then
July.
she cashed in that same night, remember? Or that
Oh
next
yeah,
day.
so
The next day.
yeah, so she had the
Yeah,
championship like maybe for a month and a
a
half
month
until
because she lost it
SummerSlam,
SummerSlam. Yeah.
but she was not being
So
treated like the champion.
Right.
Yeah,
yeah. And she was honestly, unfortunately, she wasn't connecting with the audience. She was
Mm.
only barely connecting with the audience when she got the championship itself. That's how I felt, at least. So it's one of those things, Aaron, that like if you are good enough and you pull enough and people are invested in you, then you stay at the top. If you don't,
Oh,
then you
okay.
can fall like it. That's why we said Bianca Belair, it pulls. It's like she's been at the top for 2 years, either with the belt or chasing the belt or just at the top in general, because
exactly.
when people come to those shows, if she's not there,
They're
they
not really.
riot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Wow. Well,
mhm.
that's the power.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just unfortunate for Nikki. I hope this is a turn in the right direction, though. This could be good too for if her and Candice get an extended storyline, because Nikki can also wrestle down. She's really good. She too was a indie wrestling darling. So famous on like the UK wrestling scene. So if they do turn this into an actual storyline, it could be good. It could definitely be good. Because again, they need some they need some more heels other than Damage Control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's move
Yeah.
on.
That's something I noticed, that it was just damage, but for the men, it seemed like they had a lot of heels, or a lot of
Mhm.
options, or teams,
Mhm.
at least I should say.
Yeah,
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of teams. All right. So, let's move on. Judgment Day just like completely own Raw. Like wow,
They
what
were
a turn of
so
events.
good. They were so
Really?
good.
Okay. Yeah. Like, so let's talk
I
about it. Mhm.
Yeah, and maybe they just took in the booze so well. I was just like, wow. But I
Yeah,
was a
they're
little
good. Yeah,
curious
they are.
about Mysterio, because I knew of a Mysterio, but I don't think this
Mhm.
is the same person, correct? This is a
Yes.
different one?
No.
So I literally had to trim down the clips. I sent 4 clips, and that's still not everything that Judgment Day did on the show on Monday. Like,
Right.
they were literally up and down the show, and I'm like, I just cannot send this many clips to Aaron. Dominic Mysterio is the son of Rey Mysterio.
Okay, he is
And
the son. Okay, that's what
yeah,
I thought.
mhm.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, and Rey Mysterio, he was on like Rey Mysterio had a fight against Seth Rollins on Monday, and Dominic and Rhea showed up to like kind of help Seth Rollins beat up Rey Mysterio, but I could not. And I'm sorry, I should have included that, but it was just so much. Like Judgment Day was on the like from the top to the bottom of Raw, and like
Wow.
I'm not surprised because they're carrying, they really are, but I would not have expected this like a week or two ago. What do you think, Matt? Like,
yeah, it was like it.
they were woven into every storyline.
Well, definitely like 3 months ago, we already thought they were on the decline.
We did.
And they only started like 5 months ago. So that
Mm-hmm.
just puts into perspective. But I mean, I like it. It's just I wasn't expecting it and ready for it. And I guess the part that's strange is that to me is that the world championship is not involved here because Roman Reigns has both of the world championships. So there's not like a there's not a championship at the center of this or really involved in this at all, which I think is like pretty unique for WWE. Like typically they'll center stories around championships. So, but I like everyone involved. And I love what Judgment Day is doing.
Yeah, it's very interesting because they have three distinctive storylines within like this one faction taking on like multiple people. It's very, very, very interesting. So that first clip we sent you is basically just the Judgment Day talking about how they are family now. Dominic Mysterio said he's proud to be alongside his new family. He basically denounced his father, Rey Mysterio. That's who he was talking about here,
Right.
Aaron.
Rude.
Yeah, and like I said, there you go. Yeah,
because I know Ray is very popular, right?
he still is. Yeah, he's
that's what I thought. Yeah, I was like, wow, you turned back on that. That's okay.
Yeah,
that's a choice.
Bold.
Bold, yeah.
He's just breaking out. He's just really breaking out. He just doesn't want to be. You know what it is like when you're just a kid and you're like, I'm grown up now. Like that's Dom now. Except
he
he's
does
just
what his new poppy tells him to do. So.
Yeah, his new poppy, Rhea, who she should just call her daddy. To be honest,
we're there. We're here.
We're there.
We've arrived.
We've been there.
Yeah. So I'll talk about it anyway. Ray and Seth had a match. Dominic and Rhea are still messing with Ray. Like they're still like getting in his head, beating him up, all that good stuff. Meanwhile, the rest of Judgment Day decided they wanted to mess around with AJ Styles. So Finn,
that's right. Yeah,
this one's kind of interesting, right? Because Finn and AJ Styles, they were friends because of the Bullet Club in Japan and all this stuff, and their friendship goes way back. And we're seeing the same kind of setup where Finn Balor is like trying to convert AJ Styles to Judgment Day. It looks like they're gonna hurt him, and he's like, no. I'm like, okay, we've seen this a few times. Like this is how they got this big, you know what I'm saying? So are they just going to continue to try and recruit people? And then we got Matt Riddle versus Damian Priest, like to close it out. How your people lose? Like, how do you be losing when you got 80 y'all versus one person?
I mean, you know Riddle, and you especially know that he's getting into Damian Priest's head, Mari. Like, don't make me call Chappelle. I'm just saying I've seen the texts. I know that there's like probably other things on his mind as he's in here. And so he got rolled up. It wasn't like a decisive win. He rolled him up and folded him up.
Rolled up. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, you got to roll up. And then they started beating up Damian Priest. So Edge came out. You remember Edge, Aaron? That's the same Edge. And we finally get Edge versus Finn in an I Quit match, which is kind of weird because we've seen Edge like fight everybody in the Judgment Day. That was weird. That was like, you, Finn. I was like, oh, okay, that's where we're going. Okay, cool.
And the first time too, the fact that it's the first time is
ever,
what's most notable to me.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because like Edge is such a great heel. He is, I mean, he's loved and lovable, sure, but like Finn is also such a great babyface, good guy. He's also a good dad. He's good heel. So I mean, it's good that they're facing off. I wondered when I heard this, like what it would be like if the dynamic was flipped and Edge was the heel and Finn was the babyface. I'm also surprised we didn't see this before, Mari, because just a few months ago, it was Finn Balor and AJ Styles teaming up as good guys against Judgment Day, which is Edge and Damian Priest. And so I guess we did just see Finn and Edge against each other, just not like one-on-one. So.
One-on-one, yeah. And now they split.
So they swap. So now Edge is out of Judgment Day and Finn is in Judgment Day.
Yes, that's actually
swapping spots.
So the Judgment Day recruited Finn by like beating him up. Finn accepted like being in Judgment Day, and the day that Finn accepted being in Judgment Day, Finn, Rhea, and Damian Priest beat Edge up and kicked him out. Like literally the same day. So they literally swapped.
Honestly, maybe their car wasn't big enough to fit all of them. Like,
I need to kick somebody out.
But they could fit Dom.
I mean, now, they're making a little bit more money.
Like
He's kind of smallish, you know. He seems like he's smaller.
That's funny. Anything else you wanted to say about Judgment Day here, Aaron? Did you have any questions about them?
I like their vibe. I was captivated by Damian Priest.
Yes, that is.
What was it about Damian Priest?
I don't know. I wonder.
He's tall.
No, never mind. I'm not gonna.
We cannot have another podcast of us just thirsting over Judgment Day. Like,
I just want to talk about.
No, actually, all of them. I would. Yeah. Wow.
All of them.
I didn't need that.
And with that, let's take a quick break and get ourselves together.
We do, yeah.
All right, we're back.
Are we though?
We are back. Let's go about the tale of Sami Zayn and how he became an honorary Uso. Again, there were so many things I was like trying to decide what to put into this play. This was probably the hardest. Like, this is really like peeking behind the curtains for all the listeners and watchers and stuff like that. Because this was probably like one of the hardest weeks to like try and pull stuff, because I was like, I don't know what is relevant, what's irrelevant. Stuff I wanted to pull, WWE didn't post. Normally I don't have that complaint about them, but this I thought I really like. I appreciated this. We got a WWE playlist about the intense relationship between Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, and it really put into perspective like how long we've been seeing this honorary Uso storyline for Sami Zayn. Like, I knew it's been going on for a very long time, but I did not realize it had been going on like this long almost.
Yeah.
And it culminated last week. Again, we didn't, because we were covering AEW, we didn't talk about it, but it culminated in Roman Reigns like rewarding Sami Zayn with an honorary Uso shirt and basically just making his day. Yeah, Sami Zayn up here on the screen.
And by the way, how sad is it? It's sad that like giving him a t-shirt could make him that. That's some cult leader behavior. If anyone gives me a t-shirt, I'm not gonna be that over the moon about the t-shirt.
But Matt,
what?
You know what? I was not expecting this.
Mm-hmm.
I have never identified with somebody more than Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was a pleasant surprise to me. Okay. Because when you're young, you want to be included, and you have people that you look up to, and like I had forgotten, like Roman Reigns was a familiar name, but I've forgotten until I saw him, and then I understood. I was like, okay, Sami Zayn, no, I would accept a t-shirt. You want
head of the table.
You were the chief. I accept that. I acknowledge you.
Yes.
No, I completely understand.
You understood the assignment.
Yes. Sami Zayn is the representation of us with the
Usos.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know
like,
what? I mean, I would never.
Wouldn't you accept a t-shirt from Roman Reigns, Matt?
I would accept anything from Roman Reigns.
Thank you.
I mean, where's the lie? There's no lie. But I really did like this playlist, yo. I truly did, because you know, we watch
It
so
was so
much
good.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watch so much stuff, and there's so many like promos. Like, I will watch SmackDown and then I will still have to compose this podcast. And there's a lot of stuff that's included on SmackDown that is not included on the site when they pull clips. So it's very easy to get this show together, go over the broader beats and not realize all of the small character development stuff that you see along the way. And I thought this playlist did a great job of showing us all the small character developments between Sami and specifically Jey Uso. How Jey Uso is like the only Uso that really just like, why is he here, fam? Like it's very it's very reminiscent of, like Aaron pointed out, like being that outcast kid trying to get in with a group of people, and you find your one in, you find the one guy that likes you, you find the one person that likes you, then you get the rest of the group to like you, but there's always that one hater that's just like, why are you here? Like, why are you here? And I mean, being a girl growing up and a woman, like that was all of it, middle school girlhood. It impress the popular girl, Roman Reigns, impress the popular girl, and then maybe she'll accept you into the group, and you just don't do anything so that they don't kick you out. Like very, very like high level in a way of just showing us like small childhood things. So that was a great eye there, Aaron. And I don't know why is it Jay? Like, why is it Jey Uso that really hates him like this?
Yeah, I was surprised by that.
Is Roman doing this to get under Jay's skin? I think I did see that on Twitter. Like, people are like, is Roman manipulating Jay by accepting Sami Zayn? But then also seeing like Sami and Solo Sikoa kind of really like hit it off since Solo came up. Like Sami kind of being Solo's like mouthpiece has been really interesting to see as well. So it's a dynamic that worked, and it's getting Sami Zayn so over. In the clip where he gets the shirt, Jay's like, yeah, take that shirt off, and he like rips Sami's shirt off, and everybody's like booing. They had the crowd in their hands. They're like boo boo. And then like when Roman tells Sami like, I don't want you to put that shirt on ever again, and the crowd's like, like they're like trying to like, I know they're like oh Sami, no. And then Roman gives him the other shirt. The crowd just pops. Like Sami is so over right now, and I'm so happy for him, because I really feel like this is he rarely gets opportunities to show how good he is at character work, at wrestling. I really need him to like trim his beard and his hair or whatever, but other than that, like, I love what he's doing. Yeah, I get it. I know, but it's so unkempt to me. But anyway, let me not comment on anybody's looks.
I'm like, how dare you, Mari? You're like, tighten up that beard and stand up straight.
I want him to. No, don't cut it all off. Just like manicure it a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Throw
like
some conditioner on, like the rest of them.
do a little. Go to the mall and get someone to give him a glow up or something.
Just really quick. Like I just want to see Sami's face. I feel like I haven't seen his face in like
that's fair. That's fair.
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
but I love this. I really, really love this for him.
It's me want to see a show live.
Yes, but the problem is, Aaron, you might not get Roman if you go live, because Roman has both the championships, but he's gone over to like a part-time schedule now, so we never know what show he's going to be on. Like that clip was from 2 weeks ago, like not yesterday's show, but the show beforehand. He was not on last night. He wasn't on last night. So that's the only problem. It's like,
is he on the way out, or is it like a
No,
he's just a big star.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you could be on every single show at that, but then you just burn out, and it's just a lot, and it's all the travel. It's all the travel that's in there too, and so hopefully he's able to, have a good balance with all of it. But look, I would also say Roman Reigns better in HD.
then
I want to take
that in person from like 1,000 feet away.
I want to meet them and take a picture.
The meet and greets are way better.
Do they do meet and greets?
Yeah, they do. They do. They do.
Oh,
meet and
I want to
greet.
go to one.
Especially if you go to the premium live events, they're more likely to do like meet and greets around the time that they go to the premium live events. But yeah, like it so but also last night's SmackDown was, like Matt said, it was greatly hampered because some of the superstars could not get out of Florida in order to show up. So they did they had a really good show, barring that, like, I don't even know how many of the roster was just unavailable for travel to get to where they were. So I mean, really good job there. And let's go into our final storyline. Like we said, everything else we'll go in depth on in our Extreme Rules preview, like Liv and Ronda, all that stuff. We'll address that at our Extreme Rules. But I really want to talk about Shotzi here. Shotzi Blackheart. I don't know if if they lost her last name or not. Did they lose her last name, Matt?
I think maybe she got it back. Did she get it back?
Might have got it back. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Who knows?
WWE is famous for taking away people's either first or last names and randomly giving it back to them. We don't know, but
okay.
Yeah. So Shotzi, I think you pointed out a few weeks ago here, Matt. You're like, is Shotzi turning face? Because we got one of the first clips we had was Shotzi saving Raquel Gonzalez from damage control after did I say Raquel Gonzalez again? Oh my god.
Rodriguez is her name now. Her name used to be Gonzalez, though. She changed names. It's a thing. It's a whole thing, Aaron. There's so many name changes.
Okay, is it like an alliteration thing?
Raquel
Rodriguez just rolls off the tongue better, or
we don't know, Aaron.
Yes, that's literally why they changed it.
They will let somebody be named. They will let somebody be named Raquel Gonzalez for 4 years and then inexplicably bring them onto the main roster and call her Raquel Rodriguez and expect us to be able to flip that
no
switch.
Explanation. It's just like it's just
none.
Okay.
It's all about it's all legal. It's all legal stuff, just like copyright. Really.
Copyright stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
so she came in.
Yeah. I was gonna say there's a whole conversation about what last name she's getting and why, but whatever. We'll come back to that one day, maybe.
One day. So Shotzi comes out to save Raquel from Dakota a few weeks ago, and then Shotzi gives a really, really good promo. Just a really good promo talking about how damage control is a bunch of bullies. It feels like old Shotzi. Shotzi was a great babyface on NXT, and they had her move up to the main roster. For some random ass reason, they turned her heel, and she never really connected as a heel because we want to root for her. Like, we want to root for her. And so they gave her tank back. So when she was when she was a face in NXT, she had the tank. Everybody loves the tank. So last night, after we got the promo, we get the tank, and it's official. It's like, it's official. She's good again. Yay. And she got her pops back. She looks very badass with her taking care of business tank. And I'm just so happy. It feels like, and then her moves, her versus Bailey, it just felt so, it was like, she's back. And so I'm really happy. What did you think of Shotzi versus Bailey, Aaron?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was here for Shotzi. They were calling her unpredictable, and I was like, ooh, okay. Yeah, I'm excited to see what she does. And I'm trying to remember, there was one, and maybe I'm mixing the fights up, but there was one where like somebody was in between the
like the ring apron.
Yeah,
that was Candice, right?
Oh, that was okay. That's what I thought. Okay, But the Shotzi fight, I really enjoyed that one. It was really good.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll also say about Shotzi, the thing I love is like she is such a natural baby face. Like just her mannerisms in the ring and her energy, and like she screams or she howls. Like she is someone who's so natural to support in there, and it's nice to see them giving her the space to form that organic connection with the fans, because it's not always like it's easy to have a wrestling match that's really athletic and well done, and even like the psychology of the match could be well done, but to have like someone who's able to just like connect with the audience and start to get a reaction in the moment is cool, and she brings that, and it's good that we're finally getting there where that's being showcased.
Exactly. Great point, Matt. Like, I think this is perfect for her. This damage control spot. Again, Bailey was there, but Dakota and Io were stuck in Florida. So Bailey was like, I'll handle you myself. But because of this, I think Bianca came in for the save as well. So Bianca normally is never on SmackDown. Like, if one person stays on brand, it's it's normally Bianca, because Bianca is the Raw Women's Champion, so it's for Raw. But I think when you have people stuck somewhere, it's always all hands on deck. That's why the main event for SmackDown last night was like Kevin Owens, Johnny Gargano, and Ricochet versus Alpha Academy and Austin Theory or something like that. So like lots of just superstars from all of the brands.
Wow.
It actually sounded like it was actually, that's also actually most of the Raw people. Now I think about it, because what'll happen is that means they had to work on their day off. That's unfortunate.
They got paid extra.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Like when you're overtime.
When you're brand specific, you normally work certain days. So you'll work you always work your like Monday Raw. You might work like a Sunday house show, Saturday house show, and then you normally get like a Tuesday, Wednesday off combo.
Sure.
If that's how the old schedule was. And then, or one of the schedules, I don't know. But if you work SmackDown, you'll normally work like a Thursday house show, Friday show, maybe a Saturday house show, something like that, and then you get time off. So it's all that said, they were very limited, but they still put on a really great show. And this Shotzi turn, I think they had enough, room to play within the show to give her the time that she needed. So
yeah,
I'm very excited for this. I am very excited for this, because Shotzi is really good. She can be a natural baby face, like Matt said, and a really good adversary for damage control.
So wait, Mari, just to like come back to this, I'm so obsessed with the idea of war games, and I'll say this like super quickly, but maybe I just want to put this out there, because you know how it is to be right about these things, or to put predictions out. So like we love being right, but like it could. So we talked about everything with the White Rabbit, and maybe there's a world again where like Alexa turns and is with damage control, which would be weird, but who knows. And then again, we have Shotzi, we have Candice, we have Asuka, we have Bianca. I'm just excited for whatever Survivor Series will look like. So sorry, don't blame me for looking ahead 2 months, but I'm excited for whatever they're going to do, and I hope they're actually planting seeds for it now, because you know how it is, Mari, they just throw things together. They're used to just throw things together, so let's hope that that's a little bit different and they're trying to build up to that.
Exactly. I think announcing that they're going to do 2 war game matches ahead of time was perfect, because you really got us all. They have us all thinking about, okay, are they going to set up the storylines to get them into that match? So it's going to be good. Yeah. All right. So those were the highlights of the week. Of course, you can always find all of the highlights of the week in our playlist, either in the show notes or show description, depending on if you are watching on YouTube or if you are listening to us on your podcast. So let's get into our next segment. So this week we have a very special segment for you guys. We specifically asked Aaron Robertson to come on and rank some WWE entrance themes before we get into the ranking. And I'll tell you guys a little bit more how we decided to do this. Aaron, can you just briefly go over your background again when it comes to music and let the audience know
Yeah.
why we think you're a musical genius?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I've always been very sensitive to sound growing
Mhm.
up. And so I learned to play by ear at a young age to the point where I was able to develop perfect pitch. And then I
Wow.
also have synesthesia. So I hear music in color. So music that invokes an image or different colors to me. The more beautiful the image that I get, the more I like the song and I'm into
Ooh,
it.
okay.
And then yeah, I've been composing since I was 6 and then playing piano since the age of 5 or 4. And then played oboe and bassoon in middle school and high school. Went to college for music composition and theater, double majored in it. Yeah, just continued developing my skills. And after I went to audio engineering school, where I did all the RHAP stuff. So yeah, it's just been a lot of instruments and learning things, both recording studio things, classically trained kind of things, jazz stuff, everything in between, choirs. And I was in New York State, so we have NISMA, the New York State School of Music Association.
Music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Something
that.
like that.
And there's always those all-state, all-county ensembles where like the best of the best from each of those different areas come. So I've done all county, I've done all state, I've done area all state, which is like a portion of the state. Yeah. So yeah, it was really cool to be able to do that growing up. And so yeah, music has just been a constant throughout my life, and to this day it still is. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yes. So what we did was we sent Aaron about 20 or so, mostly modern WWE themes. We did not send him like all of the classics. So, this won't be a top 10 wrestling themes of all time or anything like that. It's the top 10 out of the ones that we sent him. So we will link the playlist, the Spotify playlist that we sent him in the chat as well if you want to see what he had to choose from. But we then asked him to pick a top 10 and rank a top 10. Before we get to the top 10, are there any honorable mentions maybe you might want to shout out, Aaron?
Oh yeah. I definitely, especially since I had to put Rebel Heart in, that kicked a couple things down. So
we'd love to hear it.
There are 3 honorable mentions.
Okay, give us the first one.
And we're gonna try and bear with us here. We're gonna try and have Aaron play a little bit of the entrance theme into his mic and then explain his choices.
I wonder
what.
So yeah, my first honorable mention, or the one that came in 13th, was this one.
Hey! Oh!
So when I first heard the beginning of this, I was like, I don't know about this theme. And then with that drop happen, I was like, okay, now I'm here. And I will say, all of these I really liked. Like from this one upwards, I really liked all of these. It was really hard to rank them.
Yes. So for those who may have not heard all of it, that was Sky's the Limit, Sasha Banks theme song. And I think we immediately had a whole bunch of people just turn us off because
And you know what I'll also say? I think that was, and by the way, specifically, I believe that's the version with Snoop Dogg. I think that's the Snoop Dogg version.
Yeah, this is Snoop Dogg
it's a Snoop Dogg version. Okay. All right. So it's not her original version. Okay.
I mean, some might say it's even better. But look, Aaron is the expert here.
We're listening to Aaron. We are taking our
Aaron,
we are taking our wrestling love out of this.
This is not our journey. We're not her.
It's because music is subjective. It is really hard to rank
yes.
because like this
and
song,
we're not dragging you. I promise.
This song would be on my play. Like I would listen to this all the time.
Put it on.
Like I really like this song. It just I like some more.
So wait, just to add, so all of the other ones, like you would even put those on your playlist too. The other ones we're gonna hear from.
Yeah, I probably would. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, I'm excited.
All right. So what's our second honorable?
Yeah, I think over time this one would probably rise in the ranks, but just from like a couple listens, this is just where it ended up at the time.
Yeah, and I think we also the steam of the theme song is equated to your love of the wrestler. So
exactly.
For us, so like that's
right.
That's just human emotion. So I like this like very objective because you might know some of these wrestlers, you might not. So I like just what you think based off the theme itself.
The theme, the theme itself. Yeah, I'm not attaching it to the wrestlers at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we have
there was ones that I was like very nostalgic for that I would.
I'm dying to hear what this ranking looks like, Aaron.
Yeah.
So,
these are honorable mentions. We're not gonna.
We had a strong reaction to the first one.
That was a very strong. I had to open with. I didn't want to not talk about it because it was like that was the one that really like caught me. So, I'm a big fan of chords. And so the opening of this would have put it in the top 10 if not for the rest of this theme. That's why it didn't quite make it. So in 12th, I have this one. Yeah, which like when that started, I was like, ooh, yeah. I was like, ooh, what are we gonna get? And then it kind of, it was like it was a very strong wrestling theme. Like I could definitely see, Kurt Angle walking out to this.
Yes, that is Kurt Angle metal. Is that one?
Yes.
All right. Next honorable mention.
Yes, the last honorable mention, or the one that missed the top 10.
Just missed it because of Johnny Gargano.
I just really loved the guitar in this theme.
What is man? Let's guard it.
A storm is coming.
And that had me. Yeah. The guitar was so good. Well, you didn't get the guitar, but a storm is coming. I was like, ooh.
From my favorite,
tell me, honey, you got a big storm coming.
Oh my god. Jade Cargill, the baddie section over in All Elite Wrestling, another wrestling company, but I had to add this because I wanted to see if this jumped out. But a queen, we talked about her way too much last week. Need to still clip that and send it to her so she could have me officially in the baddie section. But Jade, if you're watching this, we've got you. You're an honorable mention. Maybe you need to up the theme song a little to end up on the top 10, but nothing.
Okay. Yes, that was a good one. Number 10.
Number 10. I really liked this theme. It was in E minor, and E to me has always been clear. So I've always associated it with water. And so when they put minor seconds in there, adding F notes in there, F to me has always been like a burgundy. So the song gave me an image of blood and water. And I thought this was perfect for a heel. And that's why it landed in my top 10, because I thought that it really fit her so well, more than her original theme, which, spoiler alert, I will say I put last because I did not like it. Didn't fit her at all, and I feel like
Ooh.
this one fits her so much better. And so number 10, I have.
Yes.
Yeah. So the E minor is in here, and so we get like and so with that guitar in there, that guitar really helped give the image of Blood and Water to me. So I really liked this theme for Bailey. This is Deliverance. Turn It Up, I had dead last. I didn't like Turn It Up at all, but I felt
so
like
funny.
Deliverance was so much better for her as far as who she is right now. So
yeah, because that's a great point. Like, Turn It Up for Babyface Bailey. I mean, the kids loved it.
I mean, it's like a great. It was just very generic for me. It was
generic, exactly, and
and
it appeals to a wider audience. So I also am a huge fan of Deliverance, this heel theme. It, like, very rarely in wrestling theme songs do you get it where just the chords themselves are what can make you strike up the wrestler. Like, that's how you know that the wrestler is good and that the theme song is good, is that if you just hear the chords, then you're like, oh, I know who's coming out. Sound bites are great too. I mean, some of the greatest wrestling themes are started by sound bites. You know, Glass Shattering for Stone Cold, you know, The Rock's voice. Like, that's iconic as well, but I think it takes another level of like artistry when it comes to the wrestler and the production for it to just be one guitar chord and then you know who it is, because I don't know none of that E minor stuff. And the moment you played it, I was like, oh, I know who this is, you know. So I think that's great.
Yes.
Yeah, I love this, by the way. I love it. And just a big
I'm learning.
I'm learning so much, loving all of this. Like, and yeah, we need to keep going on. I don't want to interrupt. This is magical.
So number 9, I'll just play it and I'll explain afterwards.
Okay.
So this is number 9. Like, that heartbeat monitor, it took me in. I was like, ooh, we're about to get somebody coming out.
It took you in, but it took me out.
I was like, wow,
literally.
So yeah, that was No One Will Survive.
Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Tommaso Ciampa's theme song, that one, iconic. It's like Blackheart. That was his Blackheart days where he was like a stone cold killer heel.
And I could definitely get that from this song.
Yes. And before he had this song, he came out to dead silence. He came out to boos. Like, people hated him so much, he wouldn't have any music and he would just be accompanied to the ring by boos. Ugh, amazing. He's had some of the greatest theme songs, and it just really sucks that his current one is so generic. The current one is generic to me. Like, it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll get over it. We'll get over it.
I love No One Will Survive because it's in C sharp or D flat, you know, for those of you who like the enharmonic version of that chord. You know, C sharp minor I've always seen as black. I've seen as midnight to me. So like you know, a very dark night, black. So the fact that that was Blackheart, perfect sense. Like, perfect sense to me. Completely goes with that music. So yeah, perfect to know. My number 8.
Ooh, number 8. Oh,
number 8. I love, and I hope I have the correct song here. Oh, well, it is the correct song, but I hope I have if I remember this correctly. I'm a sucker for a club kind of music.
But wait a minute.
I love club. I as soon as I heard this, I was like, I would listen to this normally. Like, how would I not have this in my top 10?
Okay,
you know?
I think I have a guess.
So,
I think I don't know. I think I know.
Okay.
Should we try a guess?
I hope,
Wait.
No.
Yeah, you can guess.
Okay.
I don't have a guess.
You can guess,
Okay.
and then if I'll play
Don't
the
worry.
song
Street
after
Profits.
you guess.
I think it's Street Profits.
Okay.
All right, play the song. Play the song. All right, it was one of them.
I just like I love like
Bring
that
it to the
like
flow.
late 2000s,
Mhm.
early 2010 party rock kind of, like we're in the I did like yeah.
Club.
There
We
was
in the
nothing
club.
special about the music. I just really liked the lyrics of this one.
Yeah.
The lyrics
Uh-huh.
really carried this one for me. And
Mm.
I think, it's interesting because for me, A minor, A is white to me, so the
Mhm.
opposite of black actually. And so, but because it's A minor and it has the clear E and the dark red of C to me, so
Mhm.
like the white and the red and the clear actually goes really well with the neon cover because
Mm.
of the glow in the darkness. So it
Mhm.
actually fits Naomi very well.
Yes.
I would say.
Yes, Naomi.
Oh,
Amazing.
feeling the
I love that
glow.
song. Feel the glow.
Yeah, and
And look at
I was
Naomi.
really curious.
Stunning.
I was stunning, and I was so curious with this one, like where she would go, where you'd place, just because Naomi is color, like in all color, all over the place, like
Mhm.
all of it. So it's good to hear the neon fits really well with the theme, and it's no surprise.
Yeah.
Right.
All right,
Number 7.
number 7.
Oh, sorry, unless you
Yeah.
still had more
Number
to talk
7.
about, Naomi.
So I love having fun. And Guitar Hero was so influential on me growing up because it
Oh,
led
wait a
me to listen
minute.
to a lot of
I love
rock and
Guitar
metal
Hero.
bands.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that kind of influenced a lot of my top 7 here, I will say.
Oh, okay.
It
I'm
does not
so
classify
nervous,
all of
by the
them,
way.
but it does classify most of them. And this, as soon as I heard this, I said, put it in the top 10 because it's very fun. Now, while the music does not match their costumes or their outfits, I should say, I think the music matched their spirit. It matched their
Je ne
youth,
sais
I
quoi.
shall say.
Thank you. I was literally just about to say je ne sais quoi.
I saw it.
So here we go. Here, maybe they're not actually supposed to be youthful, but that's maybe from their name. That's kind of what I got. But so
Yep.
Yes, the Young Bucks.
I love having fun. I love. It was the guitar. It really did it for me.
It worked hard there.
So fun to hear that live.
That was a riff. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Silver Cake Party. Number 6.
Yes. Number 6. Ooh, this was an interesting one.
I
For
didn't.
me.
Yeah, I was about to say I didn't even give Matt enough time to pull up a picture. Yeah.
Oh! I know what number 6 is.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Matt.
This is the one. This is the most recent edition. It
Okay.
is, of course, the very iconic. This. I just really liked this song a lot, and I think it does match his vibe very well. Johnny Gargano.
Gargano. I
Gargano.
love
Oh my
that
god, it
guitar.
looked like it's Gargano. Yeah.
I love Rebel Heart by Johnny Gargano. Like it, I have said it before on this podcast. That's probably one of my favorite WWE theme songs. I'm pretty sure it's probably my favorite men's theme song. It is just so good. Every time I hear it, I get chills because the lyrics. I think the lyrics match the like the music. Knowing his struggle as like an underdog baby face truly just puts it all together. Love it.
Yeah, and I mean, the Rebel Heart is easily a favorite for so many wrestling fans. And again, it's back to what you said, Mari, about it's the story, it's like his size as a smaller competitor, it's his energy, it's all of it. He's a rebel. He brings so much heart. And so love it. And you know what? And it's no surprise that people heard the theme song and exploded when he returned. So
yeah, and it's like a song about resiliency too. Almost, it kind of feels like it's talking about how resilient he is. I love it.
We love that.
Number 5. As soon as I saw this wrestler, I knew that I would really enjoy their theme. And when I listened to this theme, I felt it was going to be weird. And it was. It was a bit. The fact that it was in B minor and then having those extra notes in there outside of the key, because I was looking for the colors, and it did give a sense of colorful, stormy clouds. And I said that this fits this person so well, at least from what I saw. So my number 5 is like just the playing with the different types of sounds and the stretching of sounds and going in between pitches and just playing with different timbres. I just really enjoyed for Asuka. I really did.
Yeah, Asuka's what is that? Tomorrow? What's the name of
The
Future? Okay, I knew it was the Future.
Something. Same thing, same difference. Synonym.
The Future.
You got it.
So good. Like Asuka's theme song. Again, another one of those ones, the minute it hits, you know who's coming out.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that this was so high up, especially because I think that Asuka adds so much to the theme. Like, I mean, she was on an undefeated streak for a lot of days, I'll say, in when she was in the development NXT, long time, exactly. And so, like, the fact when you heard that theme, it's like, oh no, Asuka's coming and she's unbeatable, and that's not the Asuka we get now. But the fact that the theme song still delivers is very, very interesting, and it's cool to hear that she resonated with you, because I think that WWE doesn't give her flowers nearly enough. So
I felt like why is she in this position right now? I mean, I know like everybody loves Bianca. Bianca's awesome, but I would love for Asuka to get her shine as well.
It kind of she's always been in the like the main title card, like at the top of the card, but she just came back from injury a few months ago, so it was kind of like and she was gone. She had broke her arm, or like she broke it, right, Matt? It was
her arm, her teeth. It was a lot of
it was a lot. So she was out for like a year or so. She just came back in like June, I want to say. She just came back in June. So it's just one of those things where like she was like at the top, she was doing a lot. She gets taken out for such a long period, and you come back and like you're trying to figure out where to place her now.
Right.
Yeah, but they definitely value her. Like she's got so many accolades. Yeah, in the WWE. All right, where are we at? 4, 3,
number 4.
Number 4. I heard this and I just said, "Ooh, Mm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
this song held me from second one and said, "You are putting me in the top 10, and
Wait a
there's
minute.
nothing you can do about it." So I'm just like, all right. So that, of course, is this one. Like it was just it. Oh, the rapping, the shout outs, it was it. I was like, I know who was about to come out, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. And the Usos theme song, I mean, talk about a theme song that really kind of just propelled their characters, because before the Usos changed to this theme song, they had a different theme song because they were like faces. They were like really like colorful paint on one half of the face,
Yes.
like
Yeah, I
we're
remember
here to
that.
play.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Uso crazy era, like, and their theme song was like, you know, really upbeat. And then when they finally had turned heels and they first just got the instrumental to this, and just having the instrumental was like like even just the instrumental was
Yeah.
like really hard. And then all of a sudden one day they came out with the rapping vocals on top of it. It was done.
And the shirts and everything else. And
The
so like,
shirts,
and then
yep.
like it's a thing that they reference too. So the theme song is so central to their characters. It's definitely
Yeah.
not them, but it's like that's what we want in wrestlers. We want the full package to be cohesive and comprehensive. And for them, it's both. And so they're, I mean, even looking at like the image of their shirts, it's like there's definitely imagery from their tattoos. Like what? Their brand is strong. Stronger with Mr. Roman Reigns in, you know, around, hanging around in the background, in front, wherever he wants to be. But love it.
Yeah. All right, top 3. So let's get into it. Number 3.
Now, I heard this and I said, "Oh yeah." Yeah, this one was just I'm just gonna play. I'm just gonna let this theme speak for itself, because yeah, it definitely. Where is it? Wow. Oh, I found it. Okay. Oh, it's not. Of course, I have to press play.
The tension.
I
The
know. The build up. Oh. Classic.
Yeah.
It's just classic.
So good. It's so good. The glass breaking. Yeah. And you know, playing with the kind of an Phrygian kind of a deal, which Phrygian is the scale that starts on the 3rd degree of the scale. So you have major and minor. You know, major starts on 1, minor starts on 6. Phrygian starts on 3. And so Phrygian scale would sound like, and so playing around with that is just, it's, oh god, it works so well for especially in this key, for bringing across coldness, for bringing across
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cole,
It just was so good. And that Austin
We love
316 shirt is just like, so good.
yes, cold, just like those ice cold beers.
Yeah.
He's drinking it all. Stone Cold says to kick your ass. All the things. Okay, there's Stone Cold. We have him. We love him. And yeah, like it's still iconic. Like it still could get that reaction from people. So
yeah,
I'm into that. It's a funny one though, because it's really like that glass shattering that makes, I think, all the difference.
It really does. Yeah.
All right.
Now,
duking it out.
Number 2. I would be remiss if I didn't put this one at number 2, just because it was so it was in my ears. If you told me say a wrestling theme, like
Yeah.
and even the memes just took it even further.
Yeah.
And his name is John Cena. You could not escape this theme.
Yes.
You were
Mhm.
hearing it whether you wanted to or not. But also, it's so iconic.
It is. I mean, honestly, did John Cena have any? Well, he did. Not me.
No?
Disrespecting word life. But anyways, this is the most the most iconic theme song, probably in like one of the ones in like wrestling history. So, not surprised at all.
And you know what? I think it's poetic, Aaron. You mentioned John Cena being inescapable, or the theme song being inescapable. I feel like that was him with wrestling. Like he, in so many ways, there are people who loved him, loved the theme, loved the whole package. Also, people who didn't want anything to do with him for so long.
Yeah.
Now he's at a point where I think people appreciate him, but like, you kind of gotta he's John Cena. He's polarizing, and maybe that's one of the best things about him.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Wait, so we have one more.
One more left.
I don't think you'll guess my number one. This took me by complete surprise. I was not expecting to put this at number one. I pressed play. This was the only theme to make me get up and start like fist pumping and like
that's awesome.
I was taken aback. I was very taken aback by this theme.
Wow.
And I just felt like if I was sitting in the room watching this live, I feel like this theme would make me get up every time.
Aaron,
I
stop sweating right now over here. Like, come on, the people, we can't guess it. Everyone, there's all
hopefully
sorts
you could tell me
themes.
more about who this wrestler is, because I did not know who this person was, but I was very surprised by their theme here. So I'm just gonna play this for you.
This is my brutality.
I heard that and I said, hold the phone. I need to get up right now. I was like, whoa, what is happening?
Oh my gosh.
Brutality really.
Well,
really,
that's
This is
that
I know.
That's our mama. That's our
mother. Or Poppy. That's actually Poppy. Actually, that's Rhea Ripley.
Oh, it is Pop. That's
yes.
Okay. Then I do know who this is.
From the Judgment Day.
She just looks she looks so different from the poster because she has blonde hair here.
Yes,
I didn't connect that this was her. Oh, okay. Well then, Mother. Well, yes, Mother definitely had me. Well, now I'm seeing this. Yeah, no, absolutely, because B minor is, as I said before, is sort of gray to me. So in terms of punniness, it is the color of metal, and so it's kind of goes very well with this genre. Goes very well with who she is, and she had me. She can get it. She can.
Just like Dominic.
I would join if she asked me. I really would join Judgment Day if she asked me.
You don't have a choice.
No, Mother asked. I have to do it. So
this is Rhea's theme song as a solo competitor. So this is like what she had before she joined Judgment Day. It is kind of sad that we don't get to hear it as much anymore, because
they don't play anymore. Oh, that stinks. Because I just really like this theme.
Yeah. So when they all come out, they'll play the Judgment Day theme song.
Oh, okay.
She hasn't really, since she's been like running around with the Judgment Day for the past like 3 or 4 months, she hasn't really competed in like women's matches in a while. So we'll see what she does like if she'll still have that when she competes in women's matches. She's been just like throwing around Dominic for the past few months. So,
and everyone wins.
that
right.
was so great.
Right.
Thank
Seriously.
you so much, Aaron, for doing that.
Absolutely.
We're so glad that we could this is a music theater major describes wrestling theme songs. That'll be it. That'll be
Wow.
Yeah.
If you want to hear like more from us here at the Wrestling RHAPup podcast, you can go to robhasawebsite.com/wrestling feed in order to listen to the full podcast. All right, so that is the end. It's so sad we have to say bye to Aaron.
No.
Aaron, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at the Orange Double A, on Twitter at AA Robertson94, and you can find me featured on various podcasts as a guest, such as Words of the Witches, Hanging with the Hollowells, and Solving for X, an X-Men podcast. So yeah, they're podcasts about Charmed and X-Men, the TV series, and so they're going back. They're really great. If you love those series, if you love X-Men, check those out. Yeah. So there you go.
Awesome.
Wow.
Matt, what have you been up to?
That's a good question. I just assumed, by the way, that Solving for X was about Xavier, the winner of BB23. But
Stop it.
I have been finishing up the Big Brother season, just podcasts about that about a week ago as that wrapped up, which was really nice. And also another thing that wrapped up was my Survivor Philadelphia time. I came in, spoiler alert, skip ahead 15 seconds if you don't want to hear it. I came in third place in Survivor Philadelphia. Very fun, though, to be part of the game and all of that. Robbed, some would say, and I have an exit podcast that will come out where I talk all about it for hours and hours on end. So that'll be fun. And you could also hear the season finale of Pod Friends with the one and only Stephen Fishback of Survivor fame, of Paraphrase podcast fame, of Know-It-Alls, Survivor Know-It-Alls podcasting fame, with Rob Sesternino. And so you could check out Pod Friends at robhasawebsite.com/podfriendsfeed. But other than that, Mari, I'm just all yours. I am like dedicated here. And you could find me at Matt Scott GW for anything else I'm up to. But I mean, Mari's going to be involved in anything else I'm up to. And Mari, speaking of which, where can the people find you? I'm sure you're booked and busy.
Yes. So every Tuesday, me and Sarah Carradine bring True Crime Tuesdays to RHAP. With the Crime Scene podcast, we rate and we review different true crime properties like documentaries, docuseries, and we let you know we watch it. Maybe you don't have to. This week coming up, we will be talking about a documentary called Hell of a Cruise, where it documents that the Princess Cruise in like China, how they were like hit with COVID. So it's like one of those inside documentaries where it's like all like the cruise ship footage from inside the cruise ship. Very, very interesting. We have a wonderful guest in Emily Fox. That'll be with us. So if you want to listen to Crime Scene Podcast, you can go to robhasawebsite.com/crime feed in order to subscribe. You can also follow us on Twitter at Crime Scene. That's at Crime Scene RHAP. Again, that's at Crime SEEN RHAP. Isn't it a long day? And then we're on Instagram as well, Crime Scene Podcast on Instagram. So remember, it's SEEN. Also, it just dropped this morning. Me, Latanya, and Chappelle are, of course, wrapping up the final season 4 of Atlanta. We are with Ern and the gang as they go through their last hurrah, and we're so excited. We just reviewed episode 4 called Light Skinned. So if you want to go to the postshow recaps.com /Atlanta pod, something to that effect. You can go and subscribe to us, Talk About Atlanta. It's always such a fun time when I can get up with Lapel. Yeah, Lapel. Latanya and Chappelle. Yeah, other than that, I will be returning to the small council of the House of Dragons book club podcast, also on post show recaps, in about not this week but next week, and then I'll be doing the last 3 episodes of that with the book club. So I will be taking my rightful place on the small council, and I'll let you know when that starts. But you can go to post show recap, the House of the Dragons coverage, in order to hear me and the book club over there. Please, again, it's the beginning of the month. It's October 1st. It's a perfect time to sign up for the RHAP Has a Podcast patron group. So again, go to patreon.com/RHAP to become a patron today. Yeah, because you get all the perks. You get all the cool Survivor perks. It's a perfect time. Survivor perks, Big Brother's wrapping up. You get exclusive interviews, full access, first access to a lot of things. So access to the Discord, Facebooks, all of that good stuff. And also Wrestling RHAPUp. Please go and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling RHAPUp on Twitter. Follow me at Mari Talks Too Much. That's 2 like the number 2 on Twitter. Other than that, for me, Matt Scott, and Aaron Robertson, bye. Also, okay, wait. Wrestling for everybody. Not all wrestling is for everyone. Bye now.
Bye.
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 Throw 'em up, lay it down just like Matt and Mari. Wrestling RHAPUp's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock cause I'm driving in Ferraris. And we coming every week and it's feeling like a party. Moolah Ric Flair, showing out like Bianca Belair, Best podcast, flush it in the air, From the rings and we win it, don't care, No cap. Throw 'em up, lay it down just like Matt and Mari. Wrestling RHAPUp's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock cause I'm driving in Ferraris. And we coming every week and it's feeling like a party.